we're going to start playing the foundational exercises for technique development and actually begin drumming here. Now, I hope that you've taken the time to go through all the preliminary stroke development exercises that I showed you in the previous 3 lessons. They're very important, and they're going to help you develop a foundation of technique and control over your hands and the sticks that are going to help you succeed in this lesson. So let's get started. Now, there were 3 preliminary stroke development exercises, and we're going to continue on with a couple of more stroke exercises, but these are different in the sense that this is what you actually do when you drum. So this is the real thing. This isn't a preliminary exercise. The first thing we need to do, and this whole section of exercises is surrounded around this, is to be able to play single strokes, one height. Right, left, right, left, right, left. We want to be able to play what's the beginning of a single stroke roll. All right. Now, everything we've done previously has been setting the tone to be able to do that. But now we're going to actually start doing this in exercise format. The first stroke that we need to do to set the tone for this is called accent stroke. And we're going to do a motion that's very important that I like to call float stroke. When you play an accent like that, we do all the same things that we did previously with the shadow stroke and snap stroke and switch stroke, but we're going to take out the stop at the top. We're not going to stop here anymore because we don't actually do that when we drum. We've just done that to help you develop control over your stick height. Now we're going to do one full continuous stroke that begins in rest position and goes all the way back down to rest position again. It looks like this. One smooth continuous stroke. That's what we actually do when we drum. That's how you would play a normal accent. Any initial forte, loud entrance, the first note you play in music or on the drum set or whatever, you have to move the sticks from a stop position and start playing. That's what it looks like. Now, there's some things happening in this stroke that most people don't talk about, but I want to point out to you because it's very, very important. First of all, I'm using what I call the float stroke. The reason I call it that is because the stick literally floats up in a smooth, slower speed, and as it reaches the peak of the stroke, it accelerates down. The float stroke is an accelerating stroke. An accent, an initial attack with an accent, should be an accelerating stroke. It looks like this. I like to use the sound to simulate it. It's like shoo. It goes shoo. It accelerates. That distinction in the way you move your stick is so important to be able to have a fluid, smooth, relaxed style in your playing. When you get to more advanced drumming, if you're not using that float stroke concept properly, your drumming will just not flow the way it needs to. Now, so let's do that together. This is called float stroke. We use the float stroke to play a normal accent. We start in rest position, and we just move in one count, one continuous stroke. Let's do it on count 1. We'll rest. We'll play every 4 counts like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now, notice that the stick height I'm using is the same stick height we've been practicing and memorizing in all the preliminary strokes. The stick still goes straight up and down. The stick height, everything we've done before is the same. We've just taken out the stop at the top. Now, we're also emphasizing the fact that the stroke accelerates, and that's very important. One common mistake at this point is to, again, flip the stick like this, and you don't want to do that at this point. Only use the hand and the wrist to move the stick. Keep your fingers on the stick, lift the stick, bring it down. When it hits the drum, just like in snap stroke, it stops in rest position. Let's try it again together. What you can do to get the feel for this is really concentrate and make sure that you lift your stick at the same time I lift my stick. Bring your stick down with the same motion, speed, and style that I'm doing. Just try to mirror me in every way you possibly can to get a feel for the float stroke. Okay, so let's do this together. Do this with me. I'm going to turn on my metronome. We're going to go in 4/4 time again. We'll play every 4 counts. and do everything you can to mirror and copy my motion. Move your stick exactly the same way I do at exactly the same time I do, and try to get a feel for this float stroke style. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Nice and smooth. Keep your fingers on the stick, no flipping. Two, three, 4. 2, 3, 4. All right, let's stop there. Let's do a few on the left hand. Rest position. Nice grip, nice hand position. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Straight stick path, straight up and down. Good stick height, every stroke, same height as before. Bring the stick down with some velocity. Good solid stroke. 2, 3, 4. Nice and smooth, accelerate it. Shoom, into the head. Stay relaxed. Don't be stiff. Don't pound. Couple more. All right, let's stop there. Now, let me maybe take a minute. I think this would be good to do. Demonstrate a little bit where this float stroke motion comes into play. Now, the first thing to think about is every time you drum, you have to play the first note. And I'd invite you to go out and watch great drummers. Go out on the internet, on YouTube, and try to find examples of great drum set players, other types of drummers, and you watch them play the first note. Watch the first note. Almost without exception, you will see this float stroke style of motion. Because if I didn't do a float stroke, what else would I do? If I'm at rest and I'm going to move and play the first note, move my stick from a stopped position, the float stroke is the most natural way to do it. What else would I do? I suppose another option is I could try to lift my stick really fast, the same speed that I bring it down, so that it doesn't accelerate, but it's just fast all the way through. That would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. It's not natural. It's very tense. It's stiff. It doesn't flow. If I tried to bring my stick down slow, like I'm lifting it slow, that obviously wouldn't work. I'm not going to get any accent. So the float stroke allows you to have this natural preparation motion and an accelerating downward motion to give you the accent that you're after. It's a very important thing, and most people aren't even aware of it. Some people figure it out naturally and they just kind of do it and it works in their drumming. Other people don't do this right and it's a problem in their playing and it keeps them from progressing the way they could. So you can be an expert at this. You can understand what's supposed to happen. You can develop the skill, consciously do it correctly, and progress much, much faster. When you play, for instance, accents and taps, that's another time that playing two different stick heights incorporates this float stroke motion. So I'm just going to play accented triplets, and I want you to notice how my accent motion uses this float stroke style. It's like each accent comes up and goes, shoo, it floats up smoothly and accelerates down. Watch again. It makes for a very smooth, relaxed drumming. If I didn't do that, I could try to do that fast accent thing again. That's not common sense. It doesn't work. It doesn't make your drumming flow. The float stroke allows you to achieve this style of continual motion in your sticks. Things just flow together, it's relaxed, it's smooth, your tempo's better, your sound quality is better, everything is better when you know how to move accents like this. So take a little bit of time and do that float stroke, practice it, and get a good feel for it. Now, I also want to mention one last thing with regards to the float stroke. It's not a subdivision of the tempo. It's the way to begin moving your stick. If the tempo's fast, the motion is the same. If the tempo's slow, the motion's the same when it comes to the first note. For instance, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Same motion. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. It's just how much time it takes to naturally lift the stick and bring it back down again. And you see great drummers do it all over the place. I don't really know anybody that doesn't do this naturally because it's so instinctive to move your stick this way. So practice it and learn how to do that.